Another nail in my coffin!
Hey everybody, it's friendly neighborhood Uncle Pete here, and this is my series, Nails in a Coffin, where we learn that with great kills there must also come great nails. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel. If you are new here, you can read what Nails in a Coffin is all about in the section down below, since these videos really aren't film reviews, rather a breakdown of the kills and evaluate how well the victim responded to their attack. So, it's April Fool's Day, so why not cover 1986's April Fool's Day? This film was a first-time watch for me, and I hope it's a good one. I wanted to watch it for this. Avoided all spoilers on this film. It was actually released 38 years ago as of March 28th. Came out in 1986. And it was directed by Fred Walton, and he also directed 1979's When a Stranger Calls, which stars one of my lifelong crushes, Carol Kane. I also have to mention this film was scored by Charles Bernstein, who scored The Entity, Deadly Friend, Cujo, and even A Nightmare on Elm Street. And throughout this film, I will say the music cues are excellent, and they really enhance the scenes of what you're watching. If you are unfamiliar with this film, it's about a group of college friends who gather on a remote island mansion for a weekend getaway, hosted by their old friend Muffy, and when the party starts, they stew to find themselves targeted by a mysterious killer. So, that should cover everything, so why not let's get to the nailing. Sit back, relax, and enjoy as we give April Fool's Day some nails in the coffin. Our first incident occurs when the group of friends first set off on the barge they're going to take them to the Muffy's remote island. Right when they're getting ready to dock on the barge, Archie and Skip get into an argument over a game of stretch that they're playing. I guess what you throw a knife into the ground and you got to pick it up without moving your feet. Arch gets pissed at Skip for being a butthead, and he throws a knife at him in anger. Everyone is shocked to see the knife stuck in Skip's belly, and they're all looking on with horror. Skip falls into the water, then deckhand Buck and Rob dive in after to go help save him. They can't find him, then Skip resurfaces holding it's a knife prop, showing everybody it was all a prank. The next incident occurs when the ship is just about to dock. While everybody is still reeling from the prank, Buck remains in the water to help mow the barge to the dock. He's handling the line and he swims to the dock. He positions himself between the barge and the dock, and he's trying to toss the line over the cleat, but he can't make a catch. Unfortunately, the barge is still moving, and Buck is crushed between the barge and the pier. He's horribly wounded, missing half of his face, and he's immediately taken to the hospital. Buck survives this accident, so there's no actually need to give him a nail rating. However, I was in the Navy for 22 years, brought many a ship into docks, various piers, handle lines with warships pulling into port. One of the biggest rules they teach you is never put yourself between the ship and the pier, ever. So, I'm going to create a brand new rating for Nails in a Coffin, the Dumbass Award, for when someone does something so stupid they easily could have or should have died. And the only reason they probably didn't die, the Grim Reaper was probably go getting a sandwich somewhere. So maybe it's fitting that it's April 1st for the movie April Fool's Day. Buck is the inaugural recipient of the Dumbass Award.
Dumbass!
Skip is now drunkenly walking down the pier and he's stumbling around. He goes into the boathouse into the pier after bending down to cut some leaves off of a plant, smelling it. When he's in the boathouse, he's looking around the darkness for what? I've got no idea. He's got his knife out. We get a classic cat jump scare, which does shake Skip up a little bit. He uses his Zippo to give himself some more light than that he was shaken up by the kitty, but suddenly he is grabbed from behind and pulled into the darkness. Even though we don't see Skip get killed, we do see his body later on when it floats under the dock. I'm still going to give him a nail rating, and he gets 1.5 nails in a coffin. I have no idea why he was walking around a boathouse in the middle of the night drunk. What was he expecting to find? What was he looking for? There's also another instance where people walk around in the dark, never turning a light on. He wasn't hiding from everybody, so it made no sense. He had his knife out, so something made him want to do that. He was a little, precautious. I don't know why you would not want more light to see what was out there. I'm sure that boathouse had some type of lights that he could have turned on. Just do something other than slowly walk around in the dark, leaving your back wide open. So, for all those reasons, Skip gets only 1.5 nails in the coffin. After Kit and Rob's happy time was spoiled the next morning by seeing Skip's body float under the dock, they rush back to tell their friends what they saw. Everybody breaks up into groups and go looking for Skip. During the search, Chaz finds Skip's broken knife on the dock, which leads someone to believe foul play may be afoot. Arch thinks it could have been Buck blaming Skip for his accident. He wants to split up and go looking for both of them. Arch, well, he is our next victim as well. He's wandering through these dense woods, calling out for Skip, oblivious to the coiled snake by his feet, poised to strike. However, he does inadvertently trigger a snare trap that yanks him up by one leg. Now suspended upside down, he's found himself face to face with the angry snake snapping at his head. Arch is swaying back and forth helplessly with the snake still trying to get a direct hit on his head. Someone does show up, kick the snake safely away. However, Arch looks up at this person with intense fear in his eyes, and the screen cuts. I believe I saw enough of Arch's attack to give him a nail rating, and I'm also going to give him 1.5 nails in a coffin. It was his idea to split up and continue the search. It's always a grave mistake in horror movies. You never split up, especially when you're looking for somebody dangerous or looking for one of your friends. He didn't see the snare trap, which is fine. They're supposed to be hidden. Not sure how he didn't see the snake on the ground. I see this a lot in horror movies where victims don't have much of any type of peripheral vision. If he saw the snake, maybe he wouldn't have tripped the snare. But it was his idea to split up, and he did lack any peripheral vision, so the best I can give him is 1.5 nails in the coffin. Nikki and Harvey go to the well to fetch a pail of water. Harvey's trying too hard to woo Nikki, but it doesn't appear to be working for him. When Harvey lowers the bucket into the water, the rope snaps, and he loses the bucket in the well. Nikki drops the flashlight down the well as also. She notices that there are rungs on the side of the well going down. Harvey, not a true gentleman, refuses to go down there, so Nikki makes the climb down to get the pail and the flashlight. During her descent, one of the rugs breaks loose from the wall and she falls into the water. Down there, she finds the decapitated head of Arch, Skip, and Nan's body. We never saw what happened to her, so she freaks out as anybody would, but Harvey did climb down into the well and pull Nikki up. A short while later, Chaz and Nikki get into an argument. They're packing and she wants to leave, like, now. She's putting her shoes on the bed and she was scolding Chaz for his immaturity. She turns to see that he has his hands over his crotch. She removes them and sees a bloody stab wound. In shock, she turns around and sees someone approaching her from behind the door as the screen cuts away like all the other victims. Interesting. With that much to go on, I guess I'll give Nikki 1.5 nails in a coffin. Rob was against splitting up as well as Harvey. They even said, let's stay within shouting distance. So why didn't Nikki scream when she first saw a bloody crotch on Chaz? Also, she didn't scream when this person walked out from behind the door and approached her. She just froze and did nothing. And the only reason I'm going to give her that extra half a nail is that we didn't see what happened to her. So she just squeaks out, getting 1.5 nails in the coffin. But like Nan, we didn't see what happened to Chaz, so I'm not going to give him a nail rating. Rob and Kit are up in the attic to see if they can spot the sheriff when he's arriving by boat. While looking around said attic, they find some weird stuff like dolls on the floor next to the wall. There are 2 dolls in a bowl of water, as well as 2 bloody ones on a small doll bed. The duo sees light approaching from outside, and they believe it could be the sheriff. So when they go gather up the rest of the group, they can't find anybody. So concerned, they start to search the house. They open a door and they find blood everywhere. That sends them into a panic, and they check other rooms, finding Harvey's body hanging from some rope. They both go down to the dock to see if the sheriff is there yet. No one is there, but a boat is next to the pier. Rob and Kit get in the boat, plan on taking it off the island. While they're looking for the keys, Kit finds a convenient letter that lets them know Miss St. John, Muffy, has been in a mental institution for the past few years. But Muffy's been away at college, so it must be her evil twin sister, Buffy. With the final climax of this movie, Kit and Rob are being chased by Buffy, which leads them back to the house. They're tearing the kitchen apart looking for the keys to the boat. Buffy is using her knife to get inside. Rob opens the door to the pantry, finds the keys, but he actually gets locked inside. Buffy chases Kit into the dining room where they have like a little mini standoff. Kit is trying to understand what the hell is going on, and Buffy is armed with a knife, and she raises it slowly up and closes in for the kill. Kit turns around time and bursts through the dining room doors, and it's all for friends. Every single one of them is fine. It was all a practical joke from Muffy/Buffy. April Fools.
Ha 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 ha! That's really funny, you guys!
It was all a joke, or more accurately, it was a dress rehearsal for Muffy. She reveals that she wants to turn this mansion into a resort offering a weekend getaway for staged horror for guests. She found a friend who does special effects and makeup in Hollywood to help. Each of the victims, when they were caught, they agreed to take part as things were explained to them, and Kit and Rob were actually relieved to know that it was all part of April Fool's Day. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. These are all my nails in a coffin for people who weren't killed, so I'll still count them, I guess. It's April Fool's. Here's a summary of all the nails I've awarded. Nobody died, so I just rated their reactions when they were caught by Muffy, like I said. So all three of them got 1.5 nails in a coffin, so there's your average. I like this movie a lot. It's a fantastic PG-13 horror movie to help introduce some, maybe the younger generation into horror. It had a nice little twist. I mean, if you're watching this, you know there was spoiled, but the first time I watched it, I didn't know what was going to happen. I thought it was a fun movie. I think the score was probably one of my favorite aspects. That score really made up for the lack of blood and violence and gore. It really sold the ambiance of the scenes, and it was just excellent. And when you see who did the score, it totally makes sense. So yeah, I really do enjoy this movie. So thanks for watching. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. I'll be back here for another episode of Nails in a Coffin on April 12th. I just released this one early, come out on April Fool's Day. So I'm going to use that extra time to work on a special project that I'm excited about trying. So more on that in the upcoming weeks. Until then, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, be good to yourselves, and be good to each other. I am your friendly neighborhood Uncle Pete. Remember, with great kills, there must also come great nails.